Hello YouTube, Brent Peeler here with you. Coming to you from the Philippines. I'm here just west of Dumaguete, about 3 to 5 miles, in a little town called Valencia. Those of y'all that watch my videos know that I choose this. It's just more laid back, more quiet vibe, and so I choose to live up here. Supposedly a little cooler, but I don't know about all that. It's hot. It's hot here in the Philippines, folks. It's gonna be hot for another couple of weeks at least. I think rainy season is getting close, but it's dry here, folks. Thought I'd make this quick little video to talk to y'all about the differences. I wouldn't say really pros and cons between the Philippines and Thailand. Maybe even throw in a little Vietnam in there. But I'm going to tell y'all why I chose the Philippines over Thailand and Vietnam. And first, let's just get it right on out there. I made me a little list here. I usually just shoot from the hip, but I wanted to make sure I covered most of the important things. If you're thinking about moving to Asia and you're trying to decide, should I go to Thailand? Should I go to the Philippines? Should I go to Vietnam? So here we go. And the biggest, and everybody's probably already aware of this, but the language barrier. And when I say language barrier, it's because the Philippines, I'd say most of the population speaks English. And so that was one less thing that I had to prepare for. I could come here, get straight off the plane, not have to worry about learning the language, not have to worry about communication. But at the same time, there's a big misconception. He said, got a track going by. It said the Philippines is a English-speaking country, and it is for the most part. But when there's not a foreigner around, they're speaking their own dialect, folks, and there are several of them. There's I know most people have heard of Tagalog and Visayan, but there's so many different spin-offs from each that it's not even funny. Some Filipinos struggle to talk to each other. You know, that's how diverse it is here in the Philippines, from one island to another. So that being said, the majority of them do speak English, especially the younger ones. If there is street sign, I live around Dumaguete. There are no stop signs, so you hear that the street signs and all that are in English, but you know there's no street signs in Dumaguete anyway. So no stoplights, no. It's just you go when you can type of deal. So yeah, the language. Definitely one of the major reasons that I picked the Philippines over Thailand and Vietnam. I stayed in Thailand, and I am going to be a little biased towards the Philippines because I've spent more time here. I was only in Thailand for about a month, and I spent a month in Vietnam. So, but all this goes back why I chose it, why I chose here. To come to the Philippines instead of those countries. But all three are great. Each one has their own vibe. They're pretty much uncomparable, but everybody always wants them to be compared. So that's what I'm trying to make this to see if I can't help you decide. So with the language part out of the way, I would say I'd have to talk about like the visa situation. The Philippines has one of the best visa situations, I'd say, other than Mexico. And Mexico, I know I'm not getting off on Mexico. Mexico, as soon as you land, you get 180 days free, just upon arrival for American citizens. And I'm gonna make this video as an American citizen because that's what I am. Philippines gives you 30 days. Visa on arrival. As soon as you get off the plane, no paperwork, no nothing. Same as Thailand. Thailand does the same thing, but the good part about the Philippines is you can just go down to your local office and extend after 30 days or before the 30 days is up. And you can do that all the way up to 3 years before you need to exit the country. And that, my friends, is a pretty good deal. We can talk about, you know, exiting the country and coming back, that's no problem, and it's probably a pretty good option. I've done that the first time I was here. Instead of re-upping I re-upped my 30 days the first time, and then after that, I thought, well, hell, it's just as cheap to go check out another country and then come back. So that's what I did. So both those work good, but if you want to come over here and stay, you can come and stay up to 3 years without having to leave the country, and you pay probably $20-$30 a month to extend your visa. Just figure that in your bills and you're good to go. I think Thailand, you get your 30 days, and I'm pretty sure after 90 days you have to exit the country. You have to make a visa run. So keep that in mind. That's another positive for the Philippines, I say. Although most of this stuff you can do online now, so it's not like you have to be tied up with a whole day going down to a visa office, or you can even hire people to do it. So keep that in mind. But it is just as easy to go online and get that stuff done. Okay, now we're going to get into your housing, your accommodations. I'm going to have to give this to Thailand, folks. I'm going to have to give this to Thailand, and they pretty much win it hands down. You can, and I'm talking about the bang for your buck. I'm talking about you can live as cheap or as expensive in both countries as you want to, but you can get a whole lot more bang for your buck in Thailand. More Western style housing, apartments, condos, that kind of stuff. Of course, they've got those here in the Philippines, but you just don't get as much, and they're not near as nice as what you would get with the same money in, say, Thailand or Vietnam. And I'm going to try to keep this between Thailand and the Philippines. We'll talk about Vietnam in another video, but let's just keep it simple and go with those two. Apartments, you can rent. I'm paying $450 a month for this place, and it's a 2-bedroom. Got 2 air cons, 3. Matter of fact, it's 3-bedroom, 3-bath. One of the rooms is just empty. She said we could use it for an office or whatever, but anyway, $450. But that's through Airbnb, or was through Airbnb, and that's all bills paid. That's electric, water, gas, everything, folks. That's just $450, and you don't have to worry about a thing. The only other payment I've got is my cell phone for about $20 a month, and my motorbike, which is about $150 a month. And I'm very seriously thinking about buying a motorbike instead of throwing my money away. But for now, I'm renting, and it's one of those deals I can just walk away from. The housing in Thailand is top notch and very cheap. Very cheap. I'd say you could get a 2-bedroom apartment, nice condo, probably around $450. Same as here. But you're talking about swimming pools, gyms. You're talking about I'm talking about high-rise buildings, just in the heart of downtown, wherever you're at. It's just my opinion, and everybody's got one. Opinions like assholes, folks. Everybody's got one. Some people say it's like armpits. Everybody's got 2. So this is just my opinion. I really think you can get more bang for your buck living in Thailand when it comes to accommodation. Transportation, another one I have to give Thailand hands down. Hands down goes to Thailand. They've got the sky trains. They've got there's just the transportation system in Thailand is the absolute one of the best that I've ever seen. Between not the subways, they're sky trains or whatever, but you can go anywhere in the cities for pennies. Don't cost hardly anything to ride those trains. You can get passes, but you can go pretty much anywhere in the city riding the little trains. As soon as you get out of a station, there's Grab drivers, which is kind of like Uber. There's taxis. There's tuk-tuks. There's all kinds of cheap transportation, folks. My biggest thing that I used was I think it was Joy and Joy may be a Philippines deal, but Grab, definitely Grab. I use Grab, and for $1 you could go pretty much anywhere you wanted to go. If you don't feel like getting on an app, you're not very app savvy, there's always a tuk-tuk, which is kind of the Thailand's version of the tricycle, just a more modern type deal. Like a little 3-wheeled vehicle, take you anywhere you want to go, pretty cheap. Living in Thailand is a lot cleaner, folks. All the roads are better. The traffic's not as bad. I mean, it gets bad, but there's kind of a respect in Thailand, and it's not like in Philippines. It's like you got 2,000 people and somebody just opened the gate and everybody tries to go for it. And in Thailand there is a little order. And in the big cities and stuff in the Philippines, there's traffic signs, there's stop signs. I'm not saying there's not. I'm just saying there's not where I'm at now. But definitely the transportation, I would say, is hands down. You got to give it to Thailand. Now, that said, if you're wanting to get around and drive, Thailand, they do throw up like roadblocks. So if you're or checkpoints, if you're wanting to rent a motorbike or a car or whatever, well, you probably need to have your documents in order. I know when I was in Phuket, they had checkpoints because anybody would rent you a scooter, and if you don't have a Thailand international motorcycle permit to be driving it, they'll give you a ticket. And yes, it is a money grab, but I haven't discovered that here in the Philippines. There is checkpoints and whatever, but all you got to do is show them your American driver's license, you're good to go. I don't even have a motorcycle endorsement, but I've never had an issue here in the Philippines, and that's something to think about. But the driving, I would say, is totally better in Thailand, and it's easier to get from point A to point B. Let's just put it that way. Whether that be on a sky train or whatever. The Philippines is hard to travel, folks. The Philippines is really hard to travel because you've got 7,000 islands. It's what they are, is individual islands, and so no matter how far you go, how far you drive, you're going to have to get on a ferry and go through the headache. That's probably no matter where you go, that's probably a 2 to 3 hour adding on to your trip. And that's per island. You know, you can only go so far per island. It's time to get on a ferry, or you can fly. But the trouble with flying here in the Philippines is there's only like 2 or 3 airports that you can fly out of, that you don't have to fly to, say, Cebu or Manila first. So no matter if you're wanting to go to the next island over, if you try to fly out of Dumaguete, they want to take you to Cebu first or to Manila first and then fly you. So you're talking about 2 plane rides just to get, a couple 100 miles down the road or across the way. Buses, tracks, jeepneys, that's all here available, folks. I'm not saying that if you're just going to stay local, you won't have no problem at all. But I'm talking about going out, venturing, seeing the country. If you wanted to go on a motorbike, recently I went and motorbike Vietnam, and it was one awesome experience. I've tried to do a little adventuring on my motorbike here in the Philippines, and like I say, you can only go so far, and you're going to wind up at the ocean, and it's time to get on a boat, and all that stuff takes money and time. The money is not really a bad deal. You can take your motorbike to another island for 10, 50, depends. It's not a set price, folks. It all depends on the company you go with and other factors that are involved. So you can't just say, well, it's $10 to take you back from this island to that. You never know. There's all kinds of different fees that you got to pay. Some are simple. Some really go by the rules. You just never know in the Philippines whether you're going to have to pay this terminal fee, do this, and go to 3 different buildings, or if they'll do it all in the same place. So, but in Thailand, Of course, I've just been to like Bangkok, Phuket, Koh Phi Phi Island, but I didn't. The buses, the transportation is all great there, and in both countries it's affordable. It's just a whole lot easier to travel one landmass instead of 7,000. So keep that in mind. Infrastructure is a lot better in Thailand. Like I say, I talked about the roads, the sidewalks. Very clean in Thailand. Philippines not so much. Philippines, if you're handicapped or you need sidewalks, well, I suggest you going somewhere else, because this is, especially Dumaguete. Do not come to Dumaguete. This is not a handicap friendly place. There are no street lights. There are no sidewalks. If there is sidewalks, they're parked with motorbikes, and it's just not good for a handicapped person or somebody needs wheelchair accessibility or anything like that. Now Thailand, on the other hand, beautiful sidewalks. There's no trash like there is in the Philippines. It's just, when it comes to cleanliness and infrastructure, Thailand hands down. More, I really hadn't had trouble with, say, the Wi-Fi or the cell phone service in either country. Both are really fast, really quick. Matter of fact, both of them. I haven't been to another country ever that is as slow as mine was back in the United States. Of course, I'm from a rural area, southwest Oklahoma, so I realize that's part of it. But our Wi-Fi situation there, to be in America, is supposed to be, claims to have the best this and the best that. I've never been in another country that's had as terrible a cell phone or Wi-Fi as the United States. But that being said, I'd have to give that to Thailand too, just because there's not as many rural areas and islands to hop and signals to have to jump across, and mountains. There's lots of mountains in the Philippines, and so I would just, although I haven't really had trouble with in either spot, I would still give that to Thailand too. Just the streets and the even like riding the trains and stuff. It's not so much as a free for all in Thailand as it is here in the Philippines. They don't pack you on the buses near as tight. It can get uncomfortable here in the Philippines. So I'd have to give that to Thailand too. Women, I love them all. I love Thai women. I love Filipino women. Once again, we'll have to go back to the language barrier. So I would have to give it to the Philippines. Both women are beautiful. Both treat you like a king. I'm sure there's scammers in both. There's, everybody's got their own agenda, but for the most part, I'd say the Filipinas are just absolutely wonderful. Thais are absolutely wonderful too, but you have a language barrier. I know in the places that I went, like Phuket, Koh Phi Phi, the tourist spots, Bangkok, I didn't have any trouble because I was in the tourist areas. So of course, most of the people are going to be able to speak. I stayed in a few spots that wasn't quite so touristy, and I had a little more trouble in Thailand than, say, here in the Philippines. There are spots that people don't speak the English, folks. That's just the way it is, and the ones that do, they might know it, but they're not comfortable speaking it. So that's, like I say, that's a big misconception that everybody speaks English, because they don't. If you're not there, they're speaking their native tongue. So, but with that in mind, the women, I would have to say it's easier if you're coming to date to date in the Philippines. Now I'm sure, like on them dating apps and stuff, I'm sure you can work all that out, because there's lots of women that speak English over there. So, but I would have to give it to the Philippines, because that's the only place I've dated somebody. So there you go. Folks finally made me some iced tea. Went to a little specialty store, got me some tea. finally got some tea that tastes like back home. So the food, once again, definitely have to give this to Thailand. There are some Filipino dishes that I do enjoy, I really like, but it's nothing like Thailand. Folks, there's Thai restaurants all over the world. I've never been out of the Philippines and seen a Filipino restaurant, and I'm sure there are. I'm not saying there's not, but no matter where you go, you see Thai food. I've seen Thai food in Mexico, Japan, everywhere. In America, there's Thai restaurants everywhere because they know what they're doing when it comes to culinary skills. They've just got it hands down. Some of the best food I've ever ate was in Thailand, and even though I thought I was just getting a piece of fried chicken, it was the best fried chicken I ever had. I know if you was in Thailand and you tried to cook it yourself, you'd probably spend $20 frying a piece of chicken, because that's how much ingredients and spices and herbs and all the good stuff that they put in, but they've got all that on hand. So just don't think you're going to go to Thailand, go to the grocery store, and make you a meal that tastes like theirs. You know, you can pay $1 for a meal on the streets of Thailand and it'd be the best meal you've ever ate. Or you can go to the grocery store and decide to make it yourself, and probably cost you $32.50. So keep that in mind. But when it comes to street food, Thailand is the best. You can eat here just as cheap as you can in Thailand. But to me, my palate, I prefer Thai food. I prefer their taste. It's got a lot more spice. They just do it up right there. Here in the Philippines, like I say, you can eat for the same money. What do they call them? Canaderias or caraderias or whatever. That's where they've got all the little food under the lids. But the trouble with that is they cook that shit in the morning, and if you're not there pretty quick, that shit could have been sitting there all day. And if you've got a stomach like mine, I really have issues when it comes to the food. When it comes to if it's set out too long or whatever, I'll be paying the price. So I really pay attention to that. I like my food hot. They make it hot and fresh in Thailand, and they don't so much here in the Philippines. I'm not saying that there's not places that you can get it hot. I'm just saying, all in all, I prefer the street food in Thailand. It's not even comparable. It's not even comparable, and some of the best dishes that I've ever had come from there. Like I say, talked about cleanliness of the cities. Thailand is just way ahead when it comes to that. See if I've left anything out here. The beaches. Philippines is got 7,000 islands, so of course they're going to have beautiful beaches. But when it comes to the most beautiful beaches I've ever saw in my life, were in Thailand. Koh Phi Phi, that is the most beautiful. I'm talking about, it's Instagram beautiful. I've been to some lovely, beautiful beaches here in the Philippines, but nothing compares to the beaches that I was in southern Thailand, and around Phuket and Koh Phi Phi and Krabi and those places are just, I'm talking about, it looks like Instagram Hollywood movie that I've took with my iPhone 12 mini. Took it and it looks like I was a professional photographer. No filters, no nothing, just absolutely beautiful. I would have to give the beach scene, if you're talking about beauty like that, I would have to give that to Thailand. When it comes to just nice beaches, well, of course Philippines is going to have more, and I'm sure there's so many untouched beaches here in the Philippines that I haven't seen or heard about. But when it comes to the ones that I've been to, I'm going to give it to Thailand. Still got a lot of exploring to do here in the Philippines, but I would say, all in all, I just got. But it's different, folks. I don't know how to explain it. It's like the nature. The nature is different in the Philippines than it is in Thailand, and it's different in Vietnam. It's like a darker green, more foragey type nature in Thailand. Here it's the more tropical coconut. I don't know, it's just got a different vibe. They're both beautiful. You can't go wrong with either one. I'm not saying that. And these are just my opinions, folks, but it's more of a darker, I don't know, it's just hard to explain, but definitely the Philippines is more beautiful when they're trying not to be beautiful, if you know what I mean. And like if you just go up on a random mountain or a random beach, it's just totally beautiful. Pretty much where the people hadn't been, it's just absolutely beautiful. It looks like postcards or Instagram type stuff. But where there's people and where there's popular beaches, it's just not the same. Religion, I don't know if y'all are big on religion. There's lots of Christians here in the Philippines, where in Thailand it's more of a Buddhist country. I really don't apply to me. I'm Christian, but I really don't. That's really wasn't one of my factors on coming here. Scammers. We'll get back to not just women, but say renting a motorbike or renting a jet ski or whatever. I'd say there's more scammers in Thailand, more people trying to take your money, trying to separate you for your money, if you will, in Thailand. The women over there are more, it's more, when you're dating women, even though I think all relationships are pretty much contract relationships over there. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, providing what you're supposed to be providing. I hear the women over there treat you like kings, do anything in the world for you. The women are more outgoing over there. I mean, some of the hardest working women that I've ever seen, the most hustlers, I should say, are Thai women. I mean, they will they could sell ice to an Eskimo. It's just the women in the Philippines are more timid. They're more laid back. They're more shy. They're more they're not as outgoing, if that makes any sense. But when it comes to scammers, like the jet skis, the rentals, that kind of stuff, I've never heard horror stories or been involved in any horror stories here in the Philippines. And I've heard of several wrecks and scams and little hustles in the Thailand. So honesty, I think the people here in the Philippines are super honest. I've lost my wallet here, had it returned. Everything to the dollar was returned. I'm sure that wouldn't happen in certain cities, but like I say, I can't say nothing bad about either country, because I've never been other than an airlines or two screwing me over, which I pretty much did to myself. I've never had any issues. Safety, I'm gonna have to give safety to Thailand. Thailand is a super safe country, super safe, and although the Philippines is too for the most part. You do have paramilitary groups here in the Philippines. That you've got radical religious groups. When I was talking about religion, I meant to not only Christians, but they've got a lot of extreme Muslims. And I'm not talking bad about any religion. I'm just talking about when a certain group will kidnap other groups. You know, that's going to be a red mark when it comes to the safety. I would think it does for me. But most of those places are in their own spots, you know, like southern Mindanao. I heard you don't want to go there. I would like to go visit northern Mindanao. I don't want to get close to that line, to that borderline where if you go too far this way that you'll get into the extreme radical groups. But I know here on Negros Oriental, not too far from here, there's paramilitary here that I don't get into why they do what they do or why they're fighting who they're fighting. I really don't know much about it, not trying to, but I know they're there and it could be a dangerous place to be, so I avoid those. Just like in the United States, you don't want to be on the south side of Chicago wearing an Apple Watch and having your iPhone 15 out at midnight. You know, just common sense, stay away from those areas. You shouldn't have any trouble. I do know that, like in Angeles City, that there is a problem with petty theft, with robbing you for your money, for your phone, You don't want to be caught out too late at night by yourself. You don't want to be caught out after dark in Angeles City, unless you're I don't know. You just if you want to keep your stuff, don't be out walking the streets late at night. There has been I just kind of went blank. There has been other than petty theft, I would say for the most part the Philippines is a very safe country. I'm not afraid to go anywhere here on Negros Oriental. The people are great. People are friendly. People are super friendly in Thailand. Just, you got your language barrier. I thought I seen one more that I needed to talk on. I just kind of went blank, folks. I apologize. Yeah, I guess the services. Like there's only a few places here in the Philippines that your red light districts and stuff like that, and one of them's of course Angeles City. I'm sure you can find that kind of stuff in Manila and maybe even Cebu. I've never went to those places, so I don't know. I've been to Angeles City and I've walked down the walking street, and yeah, if that's what you're looking for, that's definitely there. It's all over in Thailand when it comes to, in Bangkok and Phuket and Pattaya, if that's what you're looking for. I will say that the best massage that I've ever had was in Thailand, and I'm talking about legit good. It was something barbershop, and I'm talking about they clean your ears, they cut your eyebrows, they pamper the shit out of you. They rub you back, they pop your neck, they clip your toenails. I'm talking about super service. Massages and stuff you can get super cheap here in the Philippines. I'm talking $6 for an hour massage, but it's not the same quality and maybe it's just because of where I was at and what I'm sure there's good ones here too, but I'm talking about just the absolutely best that I ever had was in Thailand. Cost about $25 for an hour and a half, probably. It's something, I forget the name of that, Soul Barbershop, I think. But I've never had one cheaper than I've had in the Philippines, which is probably $7 for an hour and a half, and good legit massages. No happy endings, none of that. And they say Thailand is called the land of smiles, probably because they hand out all those happy endings. But you can get a good massage here in the Philippines, minus the happy ending, for $6 or $7. If I lived closer to Dumaguete, I'd probably get one every day. I don't, so I haven't, but I may work on that. All in all, folks, I'd say you can't go wrong with either country. They both possess their own unique characteristics that make them what they are. Like I say, you can't go wrong with either one of them. To me, I'm more of a live in the Philippines, visit Thailand type of guy, and I do plan on going back to Thailand. I do plan on experiencing a lot more than I experienced last time I was in Thailand. I had a girlfriend, so I didn't get to go out and enjoy or I could have, but I just couldn't. I couldn't tell myself. No matter what I told myself, I couldn't pretend it was okay. So I avoided the places that are probably still on my bucket list, if you know what I mean. I would like to. I don't want to drive all the way or fly all the way across the world and not experience everything they have to offer. So whether that makes me a scumbag or not, hey, I guess I'm a scumbag. I would like to check out everything that Southeast Asia has to offer, minus the ping pong deal. I heard you don't want to see the ping pong show in Thailand, whatever that is. That may be just a total myth, but I did see something about that. As a matter of fact, a guy asked me when I was there, walking down whatever that is, Terminal 21, if I would like to see the ping pong show, and he giggled. So I went back home and Googled it, and half of the deal said it was the biggest scam going in Bangkok, and half of them said it's probably a freak show that gets probably way freakier than I want to get. So that said, I prefer living in the Philippines, visiting Thailand. I would, the Southeast Asia or this part of the world is set up perfectly. If a guy could come over here and you can just make a complete circle. You could start in the Philippines, go south down here into Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, up through Thailand, over to Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and circle all the way back down here to the Philippines. It's just so easy to travel the whole, and you will, each one of them's got their own little unique vibe that I think you will really enjoy. And it's just a personal preference, folks. And mine is to live in the Philippines and to visit those other countries. And I do plan on visiting some more countries, probably be a month or two. Got to figure out how this ACR card still works, because like I say, I should be getting that any time. And then you can extend for 2 months at a time. I've heard they've done away with the 6 months visa here in the Philippines. I hope that's not the case, but that's what I'm hearing, because even though you got to go to renew your deal every 2 months or get online and do it, it's still a pain in the ass. It would be less pain if you could do it every 6 months. But like I say, you could stay up to 3 years. So I got to look into that. But if my ACR card and all that has to start over every time you leave the country, then I'm probably going to stay in the Philippines a little longer to take advantage, because it costs you $50 for the ACR card. So if you're going to have an ACR card, you might as well stay here and take advantage of the cheaper prices, or if not, wait till it's time to apply for your AC card. And instead of doing it, just go to a new country, come back and start over. Your time starts over, you get another 60 or 90 days, whatever, or you get 30, and then you extend for another 29 before you have to apply for your card, I believe. So keep that in mind. Yep, I prefer living in the Philippines and traveling about those other countries. But either way, folks, I don't think you can go wrong. Both absolutely wonderful countries. That's all I've got for now. Wow, this video is 38 minutes long. I've never made one this long, so I hope y'all enjoy it. If you hadn't had a chance, go back, now that I've got a few subscribers, go back and check out those motorbike in Vietnam videos. I think they're some of the best videos I put out. Nobody hardly watched them because I didn't have any subscribers. I think I got like 100 views a piece on them. But if you want to see some awesome terrain and what it's like to motorbike Vietnam, even go back and look at the ones I've got of Thailand, Bangkok, Phuket, Koh Phi Phi, some of the most beautiful places I've ever been, folks. That's all I've got for now. This is Brent's Tripping. Peace.